Welcome to Buckle Up Podcast Universe with Brandon Rush.
And welcome back to the Buckle Up Podcast Universe with Brandon Rush and Mama Rush. If this is your first time tuning into the podcast, I'm getting a lot of messages right now from my friend who just decided to hit me up. Give me 1 second. Sorry to stop this message. Hello again. So this is actor Brandon Rush. Sorry that we're getting a bunch of messages from my friends at the worst possible time. But if this is your first time tuning in, I'm actor Brandon Rush. I've been in 80 television shows and movies, and I launched the Buckle Up Podcast Universe with my mom, Mama Rush, who is a pharmaceutical sales special, amongst many other things. And she also asks the best questions on the podcast, I think, or at least so the guests do as well. We've done 147 episodes. We are in 82 countries, and we are in 950 cities around the world. And we're on 6 continents. I think what makes our show special is the fact that we give everyone a voice here to be heard, to be seen, and to tell your story, because our goal is to educate the youth as well as give people opportunity to tell what it takes for them to get to where they are, the steps they took to get there. And I think that's important because I remember my dad when he was alive, he used to say that what matters most is when you look at a person's gravestone, what they did in between that dash, which means it's the journey. A lot of times they say it's not the destination, it's the journey. And so we have people come on here from all different backgrounds. We've had, because I've been blessed to work in 80 television shows and movies, I've had casting directors, producers, directors, actresses, actors, casting assistants, casting associates, casting producers, casting directors that I've worked with that have all been on this show or coming on in the near future as well. We've had doctors, lawyers, we've had military, we've had veterans, we've had CEOs of companies, we've had small businesses, we've had professors from my college days at USC. We've had all these different people from around the world. We've had guests in New Zealand, we've had guests in Australia, we've had guests from China. We have had plenty of guests from England, and I think it's important that we are that diverse because we're all about being inclusive and just showing people's stories from around the world. We get to find out how much we all have in common. So today's guest is Craig Forrest. A little bit about Craig. Welcome back to the Buckle Up Podcast Universe, where we bring powerful stories, purpose-driven journeys, and real conversations that move the world forward. Today's guest is someone who knows how to spot talent, build stars, and bring stories to life behind the scenes. Craig Forrest is a Los Angeles-based television producer and casting specialist with international experience across talent management, production, and development. From his early start in Australia, where a chance encounter opened the doors into talent industry, to working alongside top artists, Craig has built a career rooted in recognizing star power. He has worked across major networks, including Netflix, Fox, MTV, and MGM, contributing to globally recognized shows like Squid Game Challenge, The Bachelorette, Jersey Shore, The Biggest Loser, and RuPaul's Drag Race. Craig, we'd like to welcome you to the Buckle Up Podcast, and he'll be here any moment now. And then, whoops, I clicked off for a second.
Hi, Brandon.
Hey, Craig, how are you doing today?
Good. 1 sec. I'm just working out this audio moment. This is 1 second. Here
No
we go.
problem at all.
Oh, I can hear you. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Craig, I'd like to take this time to welcome you to the Buckle Up Podcast Universe with Brandon Rush and
Mama Rush.
Hey, Mama Rush. How you doing?
How you doing?
Thank you for inviting me. I don't know what you want to talk to little old me about, but
Hey,
I'm
you're
here for
special,
it.
man.
Oh, look. Do you know what? If you say it, I believe it.
Absolutely. Craig, how was your first off, you just got back from Australia. Your brother's wedding?
I did, yes. I went to Australia. Casting is up and down at the moment, so I figured I'd go for a solid month, and
amazing.
I haven't. I live here with my Maine Coon, so being with my parents for a whole month is well, yeah. It was testing, but anyway, we got through it. All the fun stuff happened in the beginning, and then the wedding happened where I got to be with like my whole family for, 5 days in total, and that was enough to, pull my hair out. Have I got any? Yeah. There we go. So yeah. It was very nice. It's very, I don't know if you know the term bogan, but
No, tell us about it. What is it?
so a bogan is look, when I'm over here in the States, I kind of turn it down a little bit. I did come back after, two wines. All it takes is like, and then you start turning into that guy, right? So a bogan says all of the most inappropriate C words and
Okay.
just in general conversation. So if you imagine a wedding with beer shots or whatever you do it here,
Yeah.
and there was beer pong and you name it. So that
Holy
is
smokes.
it's I'm not I'm reluctant to say what the American equivalent is, but a laid back Aussie, let's say.
Okay.
Right?
Hey, we like it, man, and we love the accent already. If you don't know,
Well,
we're huge fans of it.
well, thank you very much, mate.
Absolutely. Well, Craig, man, it's all about you today. So
Okay.
you're originally from Australia.
I am from Australia, yeah. I live there. I obviously was born there. I was there for 28 years of my life.
Okay.
So I'm 42, coming up 42,
You don't
right?
look it at all. You didn't even have
I
to say your
know.
age, but you don't look it.
It's that California air, my friend.
Okay.
Or or a doctor that I know in Brentwood. I don't know. It's either of those, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I lived in Australia for 28 years. I came over here, I worked on a TV show. It was a dancing show. It was like kind of right after the So You Think You Can Dance success, but
Okay.
it didn't succeed. It went on air for a couple of episodes, and then I was like, do I pay my credit cards or do I come here? With nothing, actually just a vacation. And while I was here within the first week, I met someone and that like kind of took off. And here I am, I'm like a year and a bit later and I get married and not
Okay.
saying that that worked out, but do any marriages work out? Come on, you tell me too.
You know what? It's not funny, but you mentioned it like more and more these days. I think I have 12 friends that are divorced.
Yeah, makes
So
sense.
and then some of them got remarried again. So we like to hope that it works out, but I guess it could be up and down, man. I'm staying single for right now.
Well, how old are you?
I'm not gonna say my age.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say my
Okay,
age.
all right. You never ask a lady her age, right? Is that how that
Yeah,
works? Okay, great.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. But I still got time, as they say, black
Great.
don't crack.
No, right, exactly. You could be 150 years old and I wouldn't know.
Well,
Exactly. Craig, I had a question to ask you.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about growing up in Australia and then how you ended up even coming over to LA? What was that whole entire process like?
Well, it wasn't a one-time process in the sense that I had a career in Australia. And it was up and down, like I had great success and then I would end up I had friends that owned cafes and then I'd end up with my head in a dishwasher and all of that. So it was very up and down, productions
Yeah.
like that. It's my cat flying across. He's a
Oh,
big
you're good. Yeah.
He's a big boy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I worked in with musicians, and I lived in the city of Sydney, and I lived the beautiful life. And I don't know if you know West Hollywood, but
Yeah.
I lived in the equivalent of West Hollywood in
Okay.
Sydney. And I went from job to job and looked after pop stars and singers and all of that stuff. And then it kind of got to a point where Sony was they were downsizing their whole staff.
Yeah.
So the need for anyone representing or helping artists that were established were kind of disappearing. Music videos were slowing down, all of that stuff. So I had to come to a realization that maybe that world of the entourage and the management of artists is so anyway they ended up doing it themselves essentially.
Yeah.
I moved over to television and then moving forward I worked on a show that failed and then I was like okay I'm just going to America. I went to a bar, I met a guy and yeah I ended up just talking to them for back and forth for a year and a half and then came here and the only real option was to get married, and that was when when they like reversed the law. So
Yeah,
we were new in that world. So that when we first started talking, we weren't actually, it wasn't we weren't allowed to get married, and then during talking, it became a possibility that I moved here,
amazing.
and then I tried to move my whatever I did in Australia and come and do the hustle over here.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how I'm here. Ultimately, got married for love, not for a green card.
Yeah.
Um, I promise you,
Yeah.
good looking. Maybe a little, maybe not quite ready for that, but yeah. So now I'm here living, the LA life, and going back to Australia is a nice reminder that I have two families
Yeah.
and I have two lives, and the good thing is that I flew back and it only cost me $750 to get back and forth.
What?
Yeah. So if you plan it well, I can have my family, my life, my crazy whatever the hell's going on over here, and
Yeah.
I can have whatever the hell's going on over there and have them both. So it's
Oh,
just
wow.
timing. So yeah, it's good. Does that answer your
Absolutely.
question?
Yeah, no, it does answer my question. I'm not gonna even lie. You look kind of like a young Matt Damon too, by the way.
Oh, do I? I've heard it
Mm-hmm.
before. I've
Yeah.
heard it
Yes,
before
he
and I'll
does.
take it.
Okay,
Um,
absolutely. Craig,
yeah,
with your experiences with working with,
yeah,
I think first the artists and stuff in Australia, I think that's what you said, or was it you were working with the
right,
artists over here first?
right. Oh, no, in Australia.
Okay,
So,
so working with those artists in Australia, how did that get you to shift into kind of like the casting, working in that casting world? And I would assume that you also were able to read people, like that probably helped a lot.
yes. So, a fun story if you want to hear it.
Yeah, let's all of it.
I'll cut it as short as I can.
Don't cut
So,
it short. Don't cut it short.
okay, well, I won't. I'm gonna blab the fuck on for you then.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's a fun story, and I love telling it because I'm not particularly like spiritual. I feel
Yeah.
like I am, but it sounds cliche, but I watched many years ago when I was young, when I was about 21 years old. I joined the Navy. That's a whole other story. So I was in the Navy as well. I've had
Okay.
100 lives, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Okay. So then once I left the Navy, I left school very early. I didn't go to a very good school in a good area or
Yeah.
anything like that. So it was kind of like get beat up or leave school and do my own thing. So I did leave school very early. And then I joined the Navy. After the Navy, I realized that, my mother couldn't tell me what to do. So you ain't not going to tell me what to do, right?
Yeah.
So I really struggled with that. But with saying that, what I learned out of that, I did boot camp twice because I broke my foot once. I
Oh,
broke my foot in an 11-week boot camp. In week 10, I broke my foot, and then I had to go back
back.
and
Holy
start
smoke.
again. So I did boot camp twice, which everybody was like, "No, you're not going to get through that." And I did it twice. I'm like, "Fuck you all, I can."
Yeah.
I did. Anyway, so in that, what I did learn is people, right? And I've always been good with people, but this is throwing a bunch of nerds in a box and trying to find, the green one, right? So
Yeah.
um, I made beautiful, great friends out of that. But after I left, I got a medical discharge. My foot was a whole thing. And then I got a medical discharge, and then I was like, what am I going to do with life? It was like, I don't know. There wasn't a lot going on. I wasn't that educated. I couldn't go to university, anything like
Mhm.
that. So moving forward, I watched this The Secret, right? And I'm like,
Oh,
what a good way to live, right? And
yeah.
what a good way to think rather than everything's going to absolute shit. And so I watched that and something resonated with me in the way of like I'm not going to stop thinking like that, right?
Mhm.
Because the odds were completely stacked against me in life, like we had no money, all this stuff, and now I'm here. So anyway, The Secret. There was a band, they're called the Road Traders. One of them was in, I don't know if you know Australian shows, Home and Away Neighbors. One was in Neighbors. That's
Okay.
where Margot Robbie started, all of that.
Yeah.
One of them was in that, and I don't really fangirl over anyone. I'm not just, I wouldn't, if there were three people to line up to get Meryl Streep's signature, I probably
Yeah.
would be like, I'll go get a drink instead, kind of thing. But I was, I was absolutely obsessed with this band.
Yeah.
And it was the Road Traders, and they were a hot hit in Australia, all that stuff. And like, I'm talking obsessed. So I went to an Indian restaurant. they had a poster there advertising a concert, their first ever concert, and I took it home and I put it on my wall and I said to my friends, you know, I'm gonna be her friend. I'm gonna be her friend. I will be her friend. I promise you. And they were all like, okay, whatever. I went to that concert, right?
Yeah.
As a fan, right? Maybe I even like went like that.
Yeah.
I went to her concert. Then I ended up in catering, right? So I ended up in Australia's small as well, so it's not hard to get high-end catering. And
Okay.
I would tell my bosses because the celebrities would come in all the time, and I'm like, if Natalie Bassingthwaite ever walks in here, you get me off the floor. I'm not holding a tray. I'm not holding a bunch of fucking sweet salmon bullshit.
Yeah.
I am not. So
Yeah.
anyway, I did a ton of events for them. That was kind of where I was going. I ended up in GQ magazine as a waiter.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I went to an event. My boss came in and he goes, "Get off the floor. She's here."
Oh
Right?
wow.
And so I got off the floor and I'm like, "What do we do?" And he goes, "Okay, she's drinking pink champagne. So here's a bottle of pink champagne. Go up and pour her glass." And I
Yeah.
went up to her and I said, I'm a fan of you." And she
Yeah.
went, "Oh, you're so cute." And she was with her management,
Yeah.
right? And her best friend who also worked for her management. Then they asked me after that event, they asked me to go to a Intercontinental, and as a kind of poor boy and never been to like a hotel rooftop beautiful cocktail place, I
Yeah.
brought half a carton of beer with me, right? To a
Yeah.
restaurant. So they'd invited me there. They thought that I was, you know, endearing because I brought two six-packs of beer
Yeah.
to a very fancy place. And they were like, after that, her manager loved me. I ended up signing with them as a actor thing that I wasn't. And then he said, "I want you to work here."
Oh wow.
She's leaving the band and she's doing her first solo album. And that was 1000 Stars. She invited me to work on that album. So I went from fangirling, pointing to the
Yeah.
poster, to then being in her album cover.
Heck
Right?
yeah. Heck no. On
So
the cover?
I'm in her thank you in the remember
Okay.
the old CDs where they
Yeah.
do a thank you. So I made it to that thank you,
Heck
right?
yeah.
So that is about, I know I'm going on, but
No, no, you're
it,
good. I love this
it's
manifestation. And
it's literally the basis of everything. That boss, that man, he was my mentor and he was a hard motherfucker, right? So and honestly, he was tough. He scared the shit out of me, but loved me
yeah.
as well. He ended up passing away.
Okay.
And manifestation again, I'm like, okay, well, he had his own pop star. I want mine, right?
Yeah.
And so I read in the newspaper that this girl, Ricky Lee, she was an idol years ago. When she got eliminated, it was a big front page deal because she was so
Okay.
good. Anyway, I'm like, I want my pop star. Saw her in the newspaper that she'd broken up with her manager. I found her, and then I said, "Hey, you and me, girl." And then
Yeah.
we ended up working together, and then we released an album. So Natalie's album, my dream was the only matchup was as far as number one release in Australia, launching at
Yeah.
number one was the Beatles, right? So massive success. Then I went over and worked on another album with this girl. She now hosts Australian Idol.
Yeah.
She's big, and now she hosts Australian Idol, but started on Australian Idol. So anyway, I got my own pop star. Then she didn't need me. The whole Sony thing, blah blah blah. Then I'm like,
Yeah.
what do I do? I ended up working on So You Think You Can Dance as the casting manager. Like, so we worked into casting, bleeding into the show. So over
Yeah.
there, there's not really a casting specific department.
Okay.
They have it's more like you start the show, you cast the show, then you bleed into the show, and then you wrap the show. So you go from
Okay.
casting to filming. So I did that. Then I worked on another dance show. That dance show failed. Then I came over here with a whole bunch of stuff in the middle of it. But
Yeah.
anyway, I manifested it, my friend, is
Heck
what I'm
yeah.
trying to say. Like with
The
nothing.
Secret. I love because you mentioned the book The Secret. I love that book, The Secret. My mom gave me The Secret, and she gave me a book called Dream Giver, which is about it's the exact same thing basically
Right.
of manifesting your goals and go after them. And I also wanted to say this too. You're pretty hard yourself if you did boot camp twice, by the way. So I know you
Yeah.
said that guy was hard. Don't discredit yourself if you did boot camp twice.
I tell you what, it wasn't easy, but I was so naughty.
Yeah.
Like, can I tell you a fun story?
Yeah, absolutely.
So in the okay, so I've always tried to find the like not the easy way, like not cutting corners, but yeah, the
Yeah.
easy way. Let's put it that way. But the fun story about the Navy was that old school, getting into locks and stuff, like where you put your card into and you undo the latch.
Yeah.
So that worked. So they used to have EMA, which is early morning activity, right? And that means running at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? And I
Yeah.
worked out that and this is winter, right? I worked out that my card, that the only thing we're allowed to have, opened the hot water tank area.
Yeah.
So I would, while everybody's running in like 0 degrees, I was like having big long naps against the water heater system in the laundry room.
Yeah.
So
Hey, I love it, man. But
that's
I
what
like
kind of sailor I was. I was just kind of I don't know, let's say naughty.
yeah. Yeah. Sometimes rules are meant to be broken. I don't know
Yeah.
how that worked out with your conditioning though, because if you're conditioning, that probably hurts you a little bit, I would think, unless you're a good runner.
I'm not a good runner. I just, I was willing to take the risk.
Yeah.
I
I
was,
understand. 3 o'clock in the morning, man. You gotta get that beauty sleep.
dude, it was so warm as well. Like I'm talking, it was just lovely. And it's not my proudest Navy story, but
Yeah.
it is good. I was the best shooter and I struggle to see. So that's an interesting thing.
Wow, amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is absolutely amazing. So I love the fact that you were manifesting things like using The Secret. You said, hey, I believe that you have to visualize. I make vision boards and stuff. And I believe the fact that you saying like, hey, I'm going to make this happen. It might not be right now, but I'm going to find a way to make this happen. And for all of those things to work in your favor. And also, you must be a good person in your lifetime too, because the person that said, I can't remember her name. I think it wasn't Natalie Rowan. That's my ex-girlfriend. One of my ex-girlfriend's names.
It is Natalie though.
Okay, I knew I
Yeah.
heard it, Natalie, somewhere. For
Yeah.
you to tell your one boss, hey, if she ever comes, let me know. And for that person to be like, hey, she's here, get off, and this is what she's drinking. That's just someone looking out for you too, which is a testament to you being a good person as well.
Yeah. I mean, being a good person isn't hard, and that bleeds into like I love what I do, and I know we'll get to like casting and stuff,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
my what I do is like hard. These people are people, and it's not McDonald's in any way. Like if you're talking about dealing with maybe to even a fault, I fall for them,
Yeah,
not entirely, but I fall for them in the sense that like I'll do anything for them
absolutely.
and sometimes you get bulldozed for being that person, and
Yeah,
and a lot of the time you get bulldozed for being that person because you're only as good as the last thing you did for someone or whatever. But there are people that come through and essentially remind you that you have done a good thing
yeah,
and those are the people that you want to listen to rather than
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, Craig, I want to say I'm glad that that's why you're one of the reasons why I love people in the casting community so much. My career would not be where it is today if not for the casting assistants, casting directors, casting associates that rooted for me and fought for me in rooms where they knew that I was the best guy for it, but they had to compete with whatever. They're the reason that I'm here today. They're the reason that I've had a successful television career. And so I want to thank people for you because they had a heart. And I remember them pulling me aside from time to time and being like, Brandon, you were doing everything right. You were nailing these auditions. Like you're just dealing with some people stuck in their older ways. But it's keep doing what you're doing. We're gonna keep calling you until they get you're the guy. So I appreciate you saying that and I think what people I know you're a casting producer too as well. What people need to hear in that environment is the fact that hey, these casting directors and producers and associates and assistants aren't your enemy. They're actually the ones fighting for you a lot of times
Right.
in these rooms where people are trying to say go with X, Y, and Z. They're the ones that are defending you. So don't give them the flack. It's actually at a different level that's causing that to happen. They're the ones fighting for you. So I appreciate you being like that, Craig.
Always it is honestly like the best thing. Okay, when you get lost in what you want to do, right? So doing when I was on set, all of that, I didn't like twisting people into into saying something that they didn't want to say. It's not my nature, and that's okay, right? You can
Yeah.
still produce the real, right? And
Mhm.
the things that people were doing to throw them under the bus to make them, I did The Biggest Loser, which was horrific, right? And just all of that. I was on set for that. I was the on-set producer. I lived in the house. So that was,
Yeah.
it was crazy. But I believe in second chances, and
Hmm.
and in casting, it's about, um, you know, whatever you may have done wrong the first time, like,
Yeah.
just you just have to learn from that and don't go back in and trust that your personality, it's not about your personality. It's about these little things that you have. It's a glimmer, it's a feeling, and you can't teach casting. You can't,
Yeah.
like, I feel your energy through your eyes as soon as you clicked on. Mama, I can't see you, darling, but I can see through your photo that you are amazing and
Yeah.
beautiful. But it's just an energy, right?
Yeah.
There's times when I've, like, people have submitted for a video and you can just and their video didn't upload,
Hmm.
and all you can see is just a photo, and you trust your instinct, and I don't know how many people have strong instinct and engage that muscle,
Yeah.
but in the whole casting world, but a lot of them do. But I definitely lead with my heart,
Yeah.
and the goal is that your success is my success. I get
Yeah.
asked all the time, is the winner of Squid Game going to give you a commission or anything like that? But at the end of the day, they don't. We don't win
Yeah.
anything out of it. Our
Yeah.
pride and our winning, and the show's over. We're not getting paid anymore. Our goal is, and our pride is, that we get people like you to say things like that.
Yeah.
And and the beauty is that after every, Squid Game's one thing, and I bring that up because it was the last thing I did.
Yeah.
Squid Game's one thing because you're dealing with so many people that, it's a guessing game.
Yeah.
And you've got to go, oh yeah, who do the heads of Netflix like? What color eyes, all of those things. And it's like, do you find her attractive? Yes. Do I? No. That
Yeah.
kind of stuff. And all of those little nitpicky things
Yeah.
that, our prize at the end of any show is, we want to win because we love you,
Amen.
and
Yeah.
that's it.
I,
Yeah,
That's-
I love that.
And
Yeah,
yes.
I tell you, I'm just loving hearing your story, your life's journey. But what does the public really misunderstand about casting?
The public misunderstand. That's a good question. You try not to just go in too raw, right? So, I think a lot of people that have put a lot of effort into getting to a point, first of all, if you get a call, if you get a text or anything like that, and you have actually applied for a show,
Mhm.
don't come back with, who is this and what? You know what I mean? It's like, you applied for XYZ.
yeah.
I'm messaging you because cold calls don't, So okay, biggest mistake is, get on the phone and answer it. Game starts now, right?
Yeah.
Using Squid Game again. When somebody does that, answer the phone with, even if it is somebody that turns out to be a fake person that you'd applied, I don't know, but, like, just give it, the game starts straight away. And
Okay.
all of those little things that you have that your friends find annoying, we love, right?
Okay.
So, or if your mum says, would you shut up about teapots if that's what you talk about? We want to hear about teapots because it separates you from everyone else. So,
Absolutely.
what I think a big misconception is that people look into what they find boring about themselves, and what they might get picked on by their husband or wife or kids is actually what we want to see, which is your quirk and your insecurity in who you are, because people try and cover with a silk screen who they are, and thinking they know what we want to
That's
see.
fantastic.
But the truth is we don't want to see anything. We want to
Yeah.
see the most random, throw it to the wall. If you start, like you just said before, just talk and talk and talk, and that's it. Just keep talking. Don't wait for prompts and all of that. And if you've got something that you think you've heard in your head over a million times, or you've said to yourself a million times, and you're sick of it, then tell me that that you're sick of
Yeah.
fucking hearing it. Like,
Yeah.
Does that answer it? Just
Yes,
I
yes,
think
it
so.
did. It,
another,
yes,
so the
yes, it does.
misconception,
Yeah,
I
go ahead,
guess,
Craig.
to summarize that, the misconception is that you think we're looking for something specific,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh,
And
okay.
right. So if we're looking, if it's a show that's specific, like The Biggest Loser or something like that, then obviously there are different things to consider and all of that to make the show. Like you can't have bad singers on Idol or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you can't have a singer that gets told by their uncle, "Oh, you sound a little nasally." It's like
Mhm.
if you believe it, then you can do anything.
I
And
get it.
that's
Yeah.
that's my ultimate message to absolutely anyone is like just don't give up on the fact that you are loved, you are special, and every time I cast someone, they're like, "Thank you for seeing something in me," because they don't see it themselves when
Oh,
all they
Amen.
did was
I
be
love
themselves.
that. I love that. What
Absolutely.
separates a good show from a global hit?
What's that?
What separates a good show from a global hit?
Um, these days it's tough
Mm-hmm.
because of everything's kind of being built off the back of other shows, it's like
Mm-hmm.
nothing's that standalone anymore.
Yeah.
The Traders is very clever, but I'm not going to say that it's copied anything, but that is a whole bunch of formats connected, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you're looking at The Mole, which was actually originally an Australian show.
Oh, really?
So that whole idea about betrayal, but that's like a number one hit, right? But it's also a roll of the dice. Is that going to work? How does it work? And Studio Lambert, who does Squid Game as well, they just do
Okay.
such a good job about it. And who knows? I don't know. Anything could be breakout, but it's about appealing to the masses. So, Drag Race appeals to a demo, right?
Yeah.
And you're either an ally or you're a gay person or you are like a fabulous, there's you kind of even that's a number one show. So
Yeah.
we're talking about a niche, but we're also talking about 9 Emmys, you
Oh,
know?
wow. Yeah,
So
that's a lot.
Nice
yeah,
that.
and the second to that was The Traders. So if we're
I
talking
love that
massive
show.
hit shows, Traders is so good. Like
Yeah.
it's just clever and yeah. RuPaul, okay, so I ended up working on that. That was my first show here, and
Okay.
I didn't know anyone at all. And the way I got that job was because I've always been fascinated to see like how much of a race it is, right?
Mhm.
And it is, it's crazy. So you go on, they film an episode in 2.5 days, and they're doing full choreo, full musical, full lyric learning, all this stuff,
Oh,
five
wow.
outfits, all of this stuff, and it is a race. But I wanted to know how that was made because I thought that gives you a full round perspective of a show. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, you cast, you want every different type of Spice Girl in it, all of that, and then their ability and then how fast it runs and what anyway. So I was fascinated in that, and how I got that job was being just here doing not much. I went on IMDb and I messaged the top 5 people on
Heck
the
yeah.
on the credit, and
Yeah.
then I got a job on it, right? So
Yeah.
that was just a gamble. That wasn't even something that somebody told me. I just went, you know what? I'm gonna try it. I messaged them on Facebook. Um,
Wow.
but that's a hit show, but it's very niche. And when it started so small on like no like 100,000 watches. Now it's 9-time Emmy winner. So I think the difference between the it's about building your fan base, getting better and better. And I don't know of anything besides it's is it no is that nailed it. Like that was
Yeah.
like kind of instantly successful,
Mhm.
but it's relatable
Yeah.
Yes. It,
because the three of us can sit there and make the ugliest shitty cake ever, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be really funny to watch. So
Yeah.
the formulas are just unpredictable, So
Absolutely.
I think it's just committing to the concept and growing. But I mean, I have TV show concepts that one was I've been working on it for so long,
Yeah.
and basically I can tell you, but it's about finding things on the LA streets and refurbishing it and, giving in a charitable way,
Yeah.
changing someone's life through not no landfill and free, all of that stuff. And then the other day I just missed the boat and I don't know how successful it'll be, but an ABC show, no, a Disney show, and it's called um Thrift Makeover. And I'm like, my whole concept was just wiped. I had worked on that for 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, 10 years. I have multiple episode layouts and all of that stuff. And, if you spread it too far and wide, it's just a little bit of a chink and change, and then it's gone, right? So
Yeah.
my heart broke on Sunday when I saw the
Oh,
trailer of it. I'm like, and it was such a no-brainer as well. But is that going to be a success?
yeah.
What I'm interested in seeing is it? Because
Yeah.
I've spent 10 years in my head thinking it's going to be. Now it's made by someone else with
Yeah.
ABC's money and all that. Now it's made by somebody else. Is it going to succeed? Was I right? So check back in, Mama, and I'll let you know.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Craig, oh, go ahead, Mom. You about to say?
I want to ask one question. With that show idea or that concept you have about that show, with that thrift makeover, do they donate that to someone and they receive that gift that from Star? Because some people need a makeover within themselves, and if they can see a piece of furniture being done that way, and then maybe they can remake their lives as well, or their life as well. I
Yeah.
love your idea, but
Yeah.
know if that show has that concept.
Ooh.
No, there is, yeah, it's funny you say that because I spoke to my friend so Disney, I think it's Freeform.
Okay.
Freeform is Disney and blah blah blah. But anyway, my friend is he's an executive at Disney. He doesn't work in the creative world,
Mm-hmm,
but he said learn from what it is, right? So it looks very surface at the moment.
mm-hmm,
And there are ways and I've got all of that as well,
Yeah.
as far as changing lives in, the whole extreme home makeover kind of emotional side of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then there's, now I have to pivot. There is still that movement because, if you look at TikTok and then there's the at-home lady, whoever spraying furniture they found and turning it
mm-hmm,
like that. There is a
Yeah.
concept in that, and it's like now with it being two gay guys who know how to do stuff and two girls who love doing stuff, and then there's that. Now it's like, do you pivot and turn it more into heart? Like,
Mhm.
where's grandma's table in her garage that she's loved forever? And how do
mm-hmm.
we make that a story kind of thing?
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of back to square one, but you get the concept, right?
Absolutely.
And
Yes,
then
continue with it.
Yeah, Craig. Sorry, I didn't.
Oh, no.
Mom said continue with it. Craig. I just want to interject these few things. One, I'm an empath. So is my mom. We're really good at reading people. I love you, man. I can tell
uh,
that you are a good person. That cares about people. And then also, I want to say along those lines is, man, you could be running your own show. Like your experience you had before you even mentioned your show. I was like, he has enough knowledge that he could actually be the executive producer or showrunner doing this because he's done the steps before. So I think the idea that you have, keep with it, as my mom was saying. I think you have all the tools necessary to be successful.
well, thank you. And I tell you what, I'll take you on the journey. We're just waiting for that one moment.
Yeah,
And it's weird that it's what I can take out of it. I've got to say, I was pretty gutted about seeing it there, and
yeah,
I'm kind of I saw their trailer, and I'm a bit just because when I was in Australia, you go back and you're like, I'm away from my family, and come back with a new sense of let's go again.
yeah,
Like let's refresh. You know where you came from.
absolutely.
Let's give it another go, right?
Yeah,
And I was like all ready to put all of my eggs into it. And, I've even made contacts in various places that now I've got nothing to present because I got to rethink it. But
yeah.
I'm looking at it in a different way now. So
Okay.
instead of going, well, they took it and it's gone, I'm looking at it like what I had for so long. And I've got a few more, right? So I'm not
Yeah,
like one trick.
yeah,
I am one pony and I got a couple of tricks. But
yeah,
yeah, so What I did get out of that is that I was on the right path, right?
Mhm.
So like an empath,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I can't just sit here and wallow in what could have and what would have and what should have, because now I know that what I was onto was not far away, and what I needed more was a kick in the ass
Yeah,
to not go to Australia and then think about my passion and putting an effort into it. You know,
absolutely.
yeah, it's more just like strike while it's there, right? And
Yeah.
the 80/20 theory, if you know that one.
Well, actually, we tell our audience, and actually can tell me too, because I think it's my first time hearing the 80/20 myself.
Well, the 80/20 is basically if you put 20% into a day, then you're gonna get 80% of the rewards, right? So look at it more in a simple sense. It's like um if you put 20% into an hour every day,
Yeah.
right? You're going to get, let's say you're gonna, I don't know, how am I gonna do this? Okay, so if you put 20% into your day, right? So
Yeah.
with a 10-hour day, 2 hours into that, you're gonna reap 80% of the rewards from that 20%,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
it does. It does.
all you have to do is if you put in 10 minutes a day to learning some AI thing or learning
Yeah.
knitting or something like that, you're going to reap 80% of the rewards for that.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it makes sense. I realized that's what I was doing. I didn't know it had a name to it because I do that.
yeah, I'm,
I do that each day with something, or along with the podcast, or with my acting work and stuff like that.
yeah. So 20% of effort will pay off in an 80% way, right?
Okay.
So that's it. That's all. So when things feel overwhelming and all of that stuff, if you just put 20% into it and you just section it like that, I'm bad
Yeah.
at time management. I'm like everything, and then I exhaust myself, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything for 4 days. I'm like literally, I've got, what is it, carpal tunnel or whatever?
Yeah, it's called carpal tunnel syndrome. Yeah. Well, Craig, I wanted to say, look at all you've been through from where you grew up, from where you work catering service. I work catering service in New York, so I know all about that. You
Right.
joined the Navy, you got sent back, and you had to do it again a second time. Look at all the obstacles that would have taken out one person. You have continued to strive and push yourself forward through all that. So they might have been a hiccup or a blip, but that might have been also a redirection to help you out where you were supposed to go. So with this ABC having that show right now, hey, you know what? That's right. I know you've been working 10 years on it. I know it's been devastating. But look at how you've already started turning the clock. Okay, Craig, you know what? We're getting back on the horse again. It's this that might be something that it might be gone or a little bit right now, but we're gonna keep pushing forward because I know that my idea and my past are gonna work. Because everything you set your mind to, even if it did fail, you still have managed to come on top and it sent you to the right direction you were supposed to go. So I just had to preach for a second, Craig.
I love
Yeah,
you, Brandon. I'm gonna call you every day.
please do.
You can be my morning wake up.
I got
You
you,
can
Craig.
do it. You can do it.
Get
Yeah.
up, Sir Duncan, or get up, Sir Craig. I
Yeah.
got you.
But
No, you guys like it's you have a wonderful energy, and there's nothing
Brother.
that
yeah,
you
she
know
does.
you're a perfect example of somebody that can go hello and then I feel it.
Yeah,
When it comes to casting, that is the ultimate thing. It's about someone that makes your heart go like that
yeah,
or makes you go, boy, I hate you, right?
yeah.
That's not you, I promise. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna.
absolutely.
Mama Rush and I aren't gonna call each other after this and go,
Yeah,
Brandon.
Absolutely, we can be friends, man.
glad
You're
I
more than welcome to.
put this off because I wanted to tell you something. I said, well, I'm not going to tell it on a podcast.
Oh,
I will tell Craig off of the podcast what I think about his idea, his concept.
yeah.
So, what I
We don't
wanted,
want anyone to steal it, Craig,
yeah,
from
we
you.
don't want to steal it from you. Okay, how important is storytelling and unscripted TV today? I just love hearing your life story,
Yeah.
and how important is that?
What did you say? Unscripted?
Yeah, and unscripted TV.
I mean, it's super important. Otherwise, you have to be let in, and people, you don't have to have a horror story, right?
Mhm.
In a lot of cases, when you talk to someone, and how do I say this? In a lot of cases, when you talk to somebody, they think the worst thing that's happened to you is your story. It's your narrative, right?
Mhm.
And that's not the case. And what I guess I'm trying to portray to you in just as my person, and it is, I'm not pretending, is
Mhm.
that you can have a chaotic story, but you can also be engaging and understanding and relatable,
Mhm.
right? So that can happen in any way. You can be the son of a famous rich shoemaker, right?
Mhm.
Random as that might be, but with that comes everything. So it's about being vulnerable, and there's a story inside of everything,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? So it wasn't always like that for Dad, and it wasn't always so. It's about storytelling is absolutely vital to any show. So you can have the money of anything. You could have the top dollar production budget, but that's not gonna make anyone that interesting, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
And you don't, people that go on reality shows, me as well, right? I don't just give them a pass because they're on a TV show, right?
Yeah.
It's because I'm like, what are they on this show for? You know?
Absolutely.
And they don't really bring much to the table besides bit of attitude, being an asshole isn't enough,
Yeah.
right? It's about who you are, knowing who you are, and being that, you don't have to be better than anyone because your story is so unique, and
Yeah.
in every single facet of it, no one
Mhm.
has lived it like you. Right.
Amen.
So
Craig, oh, sorry.
it's leaning into that, and that is specifically with casting, right? So when you're interviewing with someone, if you think it's boring and you collect birds, it's not boring, right? And that's your story. And I bet a bird has pecked your eye at some point, and it's all of that. So storytelling is super important. There is no reality show without storytelling. Um, Without, the exception of Wheel of Fortune or something like that. Right? But storytelling is amazing. Everybody has one. So
Yeah.
it's like anybody that considers auditioning for something and they think, oh, I'm boring. They're not. Being boring is boring.
Yeah.
Being boring is a story. You know?
Absolutely.
Why are you boring? What makes you boring? Who, what, why, all that, What
Yeah.
makes why do you watch video games and what do you do? And wait, you eat what? How many bags of Doritos? You get
Absolutely.
what? Yeah. So yeah, storytelling is everything, but you just have to know that your story is relevant and it's interesting, even if you think it's boring.
Yeah.
You just have to find that about yourself.
Oh, that's
Craig, you have taken the words right out of my mouth, and I'm going to thank you for it. And there's a reason I wanted to say this. So, when me and Mom started this podcast together, which I'm so thankful for my mom being my co-host. I love her to death. She's the best. We laugh and crack
I
them up.
love her too.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. We've always loved meeting people from all around the world, and I've always been big on it. My parents, my dad was alive. I lost my dad to pancreatic cancer, and he was that way too. He would have been working with us on the show too if he was still alive today. But we've always enjoyed getting to know people and their stories. With me traveling all over the world for work, I sit down on planes. I strike up random conversations with everybody because I just love getting to know
I
people's
bet.
stories. And so it's been interesting with me trying to tell people, me getting different people on the show. People will say, "Hey, Brandon, I'm boring," and I'm like, you know what? I don't find you boring. I wouldn't be asking you one to come on the show, or two, if I think your story. First off, no one is boring, and I don't want people to pigeonhole themselves. So with you saying the thing about boring earlier, I was trying to relate that to when I talk to people all the time. Like, your story's not boring to me. I wouldn't be asking you if I thought like it's just. I don't find you boring. Don't put yourself into a hole or a hole that society might have told you that you were boring. Don't never sell yourself short is what I was trying to say. So with what you were just saying there with people with being boring, I just wanted to kind of hit that for a second.
Yeah. No,
Um, go
you're
ahead.
right.
And I always think that what you feed into someone's spirit, you can feed in negative thoughts, or you can feed in positive thoughts as children grow up. My parents always taught us positive ways to look at things. Now, sometimes you're born a certain way. You see the worst of everything. But we've always seen the best of everything. Even in the toughest of situations, you take away something that's going to positively impact you or change you in a way. And that's always how I've seen Brandon look at his life and the things that he has done in his career. And it's
Oh, mom, hit the mute, mom. You hit mute, mom. Oh, sorry, Craig. My mom's never
That's
really
okay.
gonna
I
talk to
got
you.
it, Brandon. I
Okay,
have it,
yeah.
Brandon.
Okay,
I
yes,
have it.
ma'am. All right.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. But
That's okay.
try to take away something positive from it. And one thing I want to mention about Brandon is that when his daddy was dying of pancreatic cancer, Brandon gave his career up for 4 months and he came almost 6 months. And he came home and he spent that time keeping his father happy, traveling with him and all. And I always want Brandon to understand the impact that made on his daddy's life. And Brandon, share with Craig and the audience about the day your daddy died and you were on the road.
Oh, Jesus, man. So
I
Craig,
know it's kind of hard, but I
it's so
want
You're
much.
gonna
you
make me cry.
Yeah, I was really close with my dad. My dad was my best friend, and one of the things he always liked was eagles. Anytime my dad saw an eagle or a hawk or something, he'd always send me a picture. And I was driving from. I told my dad that I'd talk to him later. And I was driving down to South Carolina to see my mom. And on the road, my uncle called me. My brother had messed up a car that I had to drive down to South Carolina. I had to keep, the movie Speed with
Hell yeah.
Keanu Reeves.
Oh
At
yeah.
first, I never thought that wasn't true, especially in LA's traffic, until I was on the highway. I had to keep the gas above. I had to keep the gas above 55, or the car would stall. So I had to drive for 3 hours. I was driving 3 hours with the gas above, what was that? I think I said like above 55 or 50. I had to keep it above that or the car was going to stall. And it got all the way to here and it shut down completely. But on that drive down here, I saw these two eagles were following me, flying with me for a while down the road. And my uncle called me and he said, Brandon, has anyone talked to you yet? And I said, no, sir, they hadn't. And he said, well, I said, you can go ahead and tell me, Uncle Ben, and I can kind of feel what it is. And he's like, well, your dad's passed. And I just remember those eagles following me, and I knew that it was my dad that was flying with me on that road. Even though he was passing, that was his last way of saying, "Hey, Brent, I'm still going to be here." So that is what my mom was mentioning about the eagle going down there. So that's the.
Yeah, I just got on that because I wanted to share first positive things, but even in your daddy dying, the thing is, the spirit came within the eagle, and you called me and said, "Mom, two eagles just flew right in front of my windshield." And he said, I'd never seen them that close. And I just wanted to think about that because sometimes on the show, and Brandon, not to make you cry or anything, I'm
That's all good.
sorry about that, but I always tell you to appreciate all the wonderful times you have shared with friends and family and this show and stories. And I always try to bring a little piece of what your life has been about and things you have dealt with in your career as well. But I don't want to hold that point. So I'm going to ask one thing of Craig. Craig, how do you maintain integrity
Ooh.
while still making compelling TV? Because that has become a big issue these days.
Mama, can I please say something before we go on to that? When it comes to, again, I've always had a weird spiritual thing when I say that I'm not like a clairvoyant or anything
Mhm.
like that, but I definitely, and I've always had this feeling. I feel like I've been visited by who I've never met. My roommate's grandparents, and I looked I looked into things that signify or remind you of your loved one, and every single time something like that happens, you have to take a moment and acknowledge that that is the fact, that is the case. If you do see an eagle, you take acknowledgement and take that time to realize that that is your dad coming through. And the more and more you realize, and the more and more you pay attention to that, the more and more he'll come through because he's realizing that you're listening. So that's something that I believe. I've got like my crystals all here. Like I'm not even a witch or anything like that. I'm not.
Yeah.
I just believe it, and it's not so much that I believe it. I've had
Yeah.
so many weird experiences that I know it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that visit from your dad was from your father,
I do
right?
believe that.
And so
Absolutely.
when you see one, then just know that that is, and then acknowledge it and say, "Hi, Dad." And then
Amen.
it'll come more and more strong. It does.
Amen. I'm right there with you, man. I believe that fully. I really do.
Yeah. So,
Uh,
integrity,
yeah.
Mama, integrity, it is not something that a lot of it's not something that you can learn. It's not something that somebody can give you. It's not something that a TV show can do for you because
Mhm.
there are a damn lot of TV people that have no integrity, have no respect for anyone else or their time or anything like that. So,
Oh,
one of my biggest messages in television is build your army with the people that you trust because, it's only me or you a job away from them like bulldozing you over.
Yeah.
But integrity is something that I pride myself on like it's loyalty, integrity. I have no interest and I've never been interested in. I was offered a show where um, it was about cheating spouses
Mm.
and how you're like not cheating spouses. It's about finding couples. I don't want to say the name of it, but it's about finding couples that are willing to open their relationship and have doubts on the other person and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Somehow they cast that show. I don't know how, but I was asked to do it, and I'm like, it's not in my wheelhouse. I'd rather
Yeah.
work at McDonald's than
Yeah.
I don't like doing that to people. So
Yeah.
to answer
exactly.
the integrity question is something that I can't really put a cap on it because I don't think it's everyone. And as highly empathetic and you have that feeling for people,
Mhm.
you have to find that niche in television. You can be a cameraman and be empathetic, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You just do what you're told. But when it comes to kind of ripping lives apart and knowing what you're up to, I wasn't good at The Biggest Loser because I was too nice to them, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't good at going, oh, they had a
Yeah.
piece of cheese in the middle of the night and throwing them under the bus. Even though I'm employed by production, it just wasn't my world. I
Yeah.
just wasn't. I became more too much of a carer and a mother figure, maybe because
Mhm.
of my own, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, I need a mama rush. No.
Yeah, hey, it seems
Um,
like you got it, man. You have a great head on your shoulders, Craig.
Mhm. You
So,
really
and
do.
like, you're outstanding. We're gonna actually be friends offline. I'm gonna give you
I
my
would hope
mom's
so,
number.
yes.
Yeah, anytime.
And you
Um,
know what? This
yeah,
this stuff happens. Like this is spiritual. We're talking about stuff that's like off
Mhm.
casting, and I think, like the only real prep that I've had is to just
Mhm.
basically tell you that casting is a feeling thing,
yeah,
and
Yeah.
we've got there in a sense. It's like for me, there's sometimes where I just go, wow, you're special. And Brandon, you are special. Like there's something really, it's heartstring shit. And and that's all, right? I wish that there was more to it. It's not my ability to spell. It's not my
yeah,
ability to I've read books or anything like that. It's my ability to feel the energy around someone, even through a computer or even through just a simple photo, and then
Mhm.
turn that into a reward for being like, I have that ability to give them a reward for being just themselves.
yeah,
Not for being the boring person or the loser or the not quite a lawyer or anything like that. So anything their mom said, anything their peers said, anything that anyone said at school, I'm
yeah,
here to remind them. I'm here to reward them for their uniqueness and their weirdness and their whatever. And that is literally the blessing of my job.
Oh.
When I get to call them and say, you're on the show, it is literally it's a selfless thing in a sense, I'm not making a gazillion dollars doing it, right? It's
Mhm.
selfless and I get to make that call and I get to say, hey, you went from picking carrots out the backyard and you think that's boring and raising ferrets and whatever. And now you're going to be on a TV show and the whole wide world's going to see it and you're going to get number one on Netflix. So you're not
Yeah.
that boring and I'm here to remind you. So my job is way more than just a job of casting and being there are casting producers that love themselves and get off on themselves
Yeah.
and feel like because you pass power to someone and they'll absorb it, right? Like a young police officer, as soon as they're all of a sudden they're this, right? And
Yeah.
that's never been me and my highs and lows. And that's why I tell you, I went from a #1 album to washing dishes,
Yeah.
right? And so like fight on, believe in yourself and forget the insults.
Yeah,
That's the
Yeah.
biggest advice I have.
that's right. Don't give
Craig, I love, yeah, I love that, Mom. You said don't give up. Do you see differences in talent across cultures at all, or not really?
Well, talent is people, right?
Yeah.
So it's not even acting or it's not nobody has to unless it's America's Got Talent,
Yeah.
then and I've done that as well. And that is again talent related and when it comes to their individual stories and all that, it can take a slight backseat, right?
Okay.
But you don't want an amazing juggler that can't talk whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, it'd be like, oh, you're so good at juggling, but when I talk to you, you can't talk, right?
Hmm.
So do I see like for me it's amazing because I get to kind of like you're in my house right now.
Yeah.
But I get
up.
to go to their house, right? So I get to see, there's if you're really observant and
Yeah.
you can see little things like their house is a total mess, or they don't have anything on their bed, or all of that stuff. And that's not a cultural thing. That's like
Yeah.
anyone, right? You can have somebody that's put together and they can be, an Indian lawyer, but
Yeah.
they can't talk and they're really boring, or
Yeah.
you can have, an Indian prince and they're boring,
Hmm.
so not really. It's about a glimpse into their lives and most of all not really. No. It's
Okay.
there's definitely cultural things when it comes to like their upbringing and what their parents will allow and all of that stuff. But as a person, it's like everybody has to be different, but
Yeah.
everyone has to be cohesive in the sense that we need you at a 10, 10, 10, 10, 10,
Yeah.
right? So
Hmm.
you need to be there. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. Again, it could be I own a weed shop, right? Sounds
Yeah.
fun. But I own a weed shop is really boring, So
Absolutely.
there's lots of so across the board, no, it's more just like their upbringing and their social expectations
Okay.
from their family or culture that is the biggest thing. You know,
Okay.
The Bachelor, for example, The
Yeah.
Bachelorette. So, there's a Jewish guy, right? And who has fundamental beliefs that their parents have to instill in them. The Bachelorette is a Christian, right? Or
Hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
So you have to tie these things together. So there's a cultural difference, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how my parents will feel about this, that, and the other thing, but that story and that's somebody creating that's breaking out of their what they have to do and
Yeah.
doing something different. So they might think that they're boring, or they might be thinking that they're breaking the rule, but they're going to go against what their parents have told them their whole life what they're going to do.
Hmm.
So, you know,
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely good. Craig, you first of all, you've been amazing. I don't want to hold you too much longer.
that's all right.
Let's see here. Advice for someone trying to break into casting or production. Do you have any advice for that?
Yeah. As a job.
Yeah, sure, as a job.
Okay. As a job, just learn. It's hard, right? It's all
Yeah,
of you scratch my back, I scratch yours. But it is hard. The best thing I would suggest to anyone trying to be in the casting world is learn editing, right? Practice on your friends. I practiced on myself. I did an
yeah,
interview to myself and I edited it together. So learn what you can from the top down in a way. So it's like you can't sit there and go, oh, this is a person and that's a person.
yeah.
You learn the things that you would essentially take control over, right?
Hmm.
So for editing, it's nice to know that whatever someone says at the end, can be put at the beginning and all of that. It doesn't have to be so fluid. It is television, it's smoke and mirrors, right? So
Okay.
my advice is it's such a hard thing because it's hard for all of us now,
Yeah.
right? So it's I'd be like, apply to everyone, but that's what everyone's doing because it
Yeah.
won't work. But that's it. I would learn a little bit of everything so that you
Mhm.
can bring that to any interview that you go to. If
Okay.
you happen to be a junior, at least you can say, I did a little bit of iMovie. I've done a little bit of that. Because if you're out of work and you do the 20/80 theory, which is
Yeah.
an hour a day, by the end of the week, you're 5 hours into learning how to edit something. You know, if your interview's in 2 months and you do that every day for 4 weeks, you're going to be pretty good,
Yeah.
right? So
Absolutely.
learn your things. Don't learn too much. Don't have expectations, and be nice.
Okay.
Being
Well,
nice is a
sorry.
lot easier. Being nice is a lot easier than being
It really
That's the
is.
truth right there, hands down.
So,
We're at the lightning round,
Yes,
Brandon.
ma'am. All right, Craig. This is a lightning round. It's
okay.
just quick one-off ones, and then Craig, you're always welcome back anytime. So we can
Mm.
go. You're more than welcome back anytime. We love
Yeah.
you. I can tell me and mom both love you.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we
you're
like
welcome back anytime.
I
We can
love you
get in.
too.
Mhm.
Heck yeah, and then we can get into depth about anything another time because I don't want to hold
Okay.
up your time too much today. Okay, so here's a lightning round, Craig. Talent or story?
Talent.
East Coast or West Coast?
West Coast.
One word for great casting.
Open.
Biggest career risk.
Uh, the next job.
Okay. If it has to be a little bit longer, that's fine too. Dream show to produce.
Ooh. I got Drag Race. I would say Traders now. I'd like to see how that
Love that
works.
show. Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. What makes someone unforgettable on camera?
Oh, that's a good one. What makes someone okay, lighting lamp. Just I don't know, being true. I don't know. That's a tough one.
Okay.
I could say being a total asshole, but
Oh,
a
wow.
thief, a thief.
Yeah,
You know,
We have enough of that on TV.
yeah.
Let's go.
you could be like Taylor the Bachelorette and have all these secret little videos.
Oh wow, yeah. Okay, that sounds good.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is. It
Don't
is.
cancel the show, just play it.
Yeah,
But
it's go-to phrase with talent.
hurry up.
Oh yeah, I hear that a lot. One thing every reality test contestant should know.
Be yourself.
Okay, I like that.
I keep going now.
Coffee, energy drink, or tea?
Coffee and energy drink.
Okay. Legacy, your legacy. What do you want people to remember you for?
Being a good, kind person.
Amen.
Mm.
Amen. Craig, I'm gonna let mom finish it off, but I just want to say, man, you have been a blessing to us today. I
Mm.
like you as a person. We are friends now. I have your number. If you ever need a pick me up or motivation, I got you, man, because I think that's what God built me to do for people, and it's what I enjoy doing. So I always got you there, and I think
You'll be
mom's probably
calling
gonna be
me.
texting you
I've set my alarm. You'll be calling me at 8:30 every morning.
too.
Right.
Give me
Who's
the
gonna
top.
call Brandon?
Yeah, someone's gonna call me too to wake me up. But
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, Mom, you call him, and you know.
absolutely. Well, Craig, thank you, and then I'll let mom take. Thank you so much
Go
for your time
ahead.
today, man. You've been a blessing, and then I'll let mom take it away.
Well,
Thank you.
well, Craig, I want to tell you, I have really, and we have,
Yeah.
and I know our audience, and we have 19 point, what, how many million?
We have 19 million in 82 countries and 950 cities around the world.
But we're on 6 continents.
Oh,
So,
in 6 continents.
Hi,
Too.
guys.
Yeah.
Hi,
so
Australia.
and we're getting ready to celebrate 1 year. We've
Yep. April 9th.
celebrate 1 year of this podcast since the inception of this podcast. But with that, we have had an incredible conversation with you today, Craig. And I want you to know that from a chance moment in Australia to working on some of the biggest shows I can see in the world, your journey reminds us that opportunity meets preparation, and that recognizing talent is truly an art. So thank you for joining us on the Buckle Up Podcast universe. And
Absolutely.
thank you so much. And we tell all our listeners, buckle up now.
Buckle up now. That's
Absolutely.
right.
Craig, I
Exactly.
did your bio in the beginning before you got on, so I said that as well. I have all your shows in there just to give you a heads up on that.
Okay.
All right.
That's amazing. You're amazing. I'll send you a pic. And Mama Rush, you've got a beautiful photo, but I'm sure you're stunning behind that. Thank you guys. I'm honestly honored that you would even ask me. I was like, what am I even going to talk about? And then I found it very, very humbling. So thank you.
I'm glad, man. Hey, you know what? Now we reverse roles. It's nice to be on the other side and get to interview.
I know, right? And I was
Yeah.
I was just thinking that as well. My friend is so the host. She's now the host of Morning Radio Australia. She's a big deal over there. But anyway, so she got me on and she's like, "Can you do a couple of like voiceovers for?" I'm like, "Why am I doing this? Why do people want to hear this voice?" But yeah, I will take it, and it's definitely a compliment on my part. So thank you.
Absolutely. Well, Craig, we give everyone a round of applause at the end. You can't see Mom clapping, but you can see me. All right. Craig, I'll have this done this evening, man.
Thank you. I'm
Thank you as
gonna
well.
I will send you a photo. What kind of photo do you want?
Whatever you want. It's gonna be whatever. It can be any kind you want. It's just for your podcast station, so it'll be on there everywhere.
Okay.
That's the handle or name that he uses.
Oh yeah, Craig. Is there anywhere you want people to be able to follow you? A handle or anything?
Yeah. Let's just do have you seen my real one?
I don't think I have.
Okay, I'll send you that. I have
Okay.
I have a casting one, but I really use that for and this is a good idea for you as well if you need it. So when I wasn't working during COVID and the writers' strike and everything,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have an Instagram page. And so what I did was I went through all of the shows that I've worked on throughout my whole life. And they're all on this Instagram, but I loaded them all in one go and didn't add any followers or whatever. And so now I've because I didn't have it, so I'm thinking all the Biggest Loser and stuff. So now I've built like this casting one, which is more like, which you messaged me through, which is more like my work one, where it's like, hey, so yeah, I will send you that, but so I'll send you my real one or casting one. What would you prefer?
Whichever you want. It's whatever you want people to be able to contact you or reach out to you. Because as I said, with us being around the world, it could be anybody.
Let's just do the casting one, I think.
Okay.
Because it makes it, But yeah. All right, guys. Please stay in touch. And
absolutely, Craig. Absolutely.
You're a perfect example of a good feeling through a computer from someone you don't know.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Craig. Well, we
love
you, man. Take care, brother.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Brandon. All righty.
Thank you, guys.
You're more than welcome, Craig. He was absolutely amazing, Mom.
Oh, he was. Oh, he touched me so.